Have you ever been in that deeply frustrating situation where everything seems perfect, the mood is right, the attraction is undeniable, you want nothing more than to connect with your partner, but your body simply doesn't seem to cooperate? It's as if your mind is shouting yes, but down there, the signal isn't getting through. You wait, you hope, maybe even try to will it into happening, but the response you want just doesn't come. If you've been through this, you know how demoralizing it can feel. Perhaps you've even been to a doctor who ran all the tests, checked your hormones, reviewed your overall health, and told you everything is normal, yet the problem continues to haunt you. That's when the confusion sets in. You start questioning yourself. Maybe I'm broken, maybe something's wrong with me that no one can detect. But here's the truth I want you to hear clearly. You are not broken, and you are far from alone. In fact, for most men under the age of 55 who struggle with erection issues, the cause isn't physical at all, it's psychological. The real battle for a strong, lasting erection isn't fought in your body, it's fought in your mind. And once you learn to retrain your thoughts and manage what's happening upstairs, your body almost always follows. So in this video, I'm going to share 3 simple yet powerful mental habits backed by science that can help you achieve and maintain stronger erections naturally without relying on medication or quick fixes. These aren't gimmicks, they are fundamental shifts in how you approach intimacy and how you handle pressure in the moment. But before we get to those habits, you need to understand what the real enemy is, because once you can name it, you can tame it. For most men, the enemy isn't low testosterone, it isn't poor blood flow, and it isn't aging itself. It's what I call the 3 performance killers: anxiety, fear of failure, and performance pressure. If you've ever worried in the middle of foreplay, what if I can't get it up? That's anxiety. If you've had one bad experience in the past and now it haunts you every time, whispering in your ear that it might happen again, that's fear of failure. And if you've felt the weight of expectation, believing you have to put on an amazing performance every single time, that's performance pressure. All 3 of these mental states lead to the same biological reaction. They trigger your body's fight or flight system. And here's the key to understand. When your brain thinks you're in danger, it floods your system with adrenaline. Adrenaline is an incredible hormone if you actually are in danger, because it constricts blood vessels and sends energy to your arms and legs, preparing you to fight or run. But what's amazing for survival is a disaster for sex. Why? Because an erection requires the exact opposite: wide open blood vessels, relaxed flow, and a calm mind. Adrenaline is essentially an anti-erection chemical. It's like flipping a kill switch in your body. That's why no matter how much you want it, no matter how hard you try, if you're trapped in anxiety or fear, your erection won't cooperate. Your body literally cannot be prepared to fight for its life and be prepared for intimacy at the same time. Now here's the good news. Once you understand this, you're no longer helpless. You can begin to see the pattern and realize the problem isn't a defect in your body, it's a misfiring in your stress response. And if you can learn to manage that response, to turn off that adrenaline surge, you can unlock the erections your body is fully capable of having. In fact, some men find they can speed up this process dramatically by combining these mental habits with certain physical strategies that calm the nervous system and support better blood flow at a cellular level. There's even a fascinating 7-second home remedy backed by new research that helps counteract adrenaline directly and makes your natural erections easier to achieve. I'll put a free video about that in the comments, and you'll also see a QR code on screen that you can scan to watch later. But for now, let's keep our focus here on the mind, because every time you let those anxious thoughts run wild, you're flipping the kill switch on yourself, and every time you learn to redirect them, you give your body the space to respond naturally. So let's break down the first habit, because this one shift alone has the power to completely change your experience in the bedroom. I call it ending the pre-flight check. You know exactly what I mean. The moment things start heating up, your hand drifts down to check yourself to see if you're hard yet, to monitor every little twitch or lack of response. It's almost automatic, like testing the engine of a plane before takeoff. But here's the problem. That constant checking is one of the fastest ways to kill an erection before it even has a chance to start. Think about it. Every time you check, you're signaling to your brain that something might be wrong, that this is a test you could fail. And what does that trigger? Anxiety. And what does anxiety trigger? Adrenaline. And what does adrenaline do? It shuts you down. So by checking, you're literally fueling the very cycle that's keeping you soft. The solution is to end the pre-flight check entirely. When intimacy begins, make a conscious choice. You're not going to monitor, you're not going to measure, you're not going to keep score. Instead, you're going to trust your body. Your body already knows how to have an erection. It's been doing it since puberty without you thinking about it. It doesn't need your micromanagement. So next time, instead of glancing down or testing yourself, redirect your focus completely outward, shift it onto your partner, onto the sensations you're experiencing, onto the connection that's building, which leads us naturally to the second habit, and this one is all about using your senses, because the fastest way to shut down anxiety is to ground yourself in the present moment, and nothing pulls you into the present quite like focusing on what you can see, hear, feel, smell, and taste right now. When you're in bed with someone, there is so much sensory richness around you, the warmth of their skin against yours, the rhythm of their breath, the subtle sounds of pleasure, the scent of closeness, even the little details like the texture of sheets or the pressure of a hand. When you put your attention here, something magical happens. Your brain doesn't have room to obsess over performance because it's fully occupied with experiencing the moment. And when your brain relaxes into sensation, your body follows, your heart rate steadies, adrenaline fades, and blood flow naturally increases to where it needs to go. You see, sex is not a test of mechanical function, it's an experience of deep sensory connection, and the more you immerse yourself in that, the less you'll find yourself worrying about whether you're measuring up. Here's a practical exercise you can try. The next time you're with your partner, pick one sense to amplify. Maybe decide you're going to focus only on the sound of their voice, the way it changes with excitement, or maybe you focus entirely on touch, noticing every little shift in temperature, texture, and pressure. What happens when you do this is incredible. Your mind stops drifting into what-if thoughts and anchors itself in what is, and that is the space where erections thrive, because erections don't happen when you're in the future, worrying, they happen when you're in the present, feeling. This is why men often report that the best sex they've ever had wasn't when they were trying to be impressive, but when they were fully lost in the moment, and you can create that state on purpose by using your senses as a guide. Now we arrive at the third habit, and I'll be honest with you, this is the one that separates men who stay stuck in frustration from those who rediscover their confidence for good. It's the habit of reframing because no matter how much you practice, no matter how skilled you become at staying present and breaking the cycle of anxiety, there will still be times when things don't go as planned. You'll have a night where the stress of the day lingers, or your body feels off, or your partner senses your hesitation and it throws the rhythm out of sync. And in that moment, you'll have you can either say to yourself, "See, I've failed again. I knew this would happen," and reinforce the cycle of fear, or you can step into a completely different story. You can say, "This was one moment in time, and it doesn't define me. My body is capable, my desire is real, and next time will be different." That shift may sound small, but it's enormous, because what we tell ourselves in the heat of disappointment becomes the script our brain rehearses for the future. If you rehearse failure, you'll anticipate failure. You rehearse patience, resilience, and self-trust, you'll anticipate success, and anticipation is everything. You see, the truth is that sexual performance is not about perfection, it's about connection. When you reframe a soft moment as a signal to slow down, to explore your partner in a different way, to take the pressure off yourself, you actually strengthen intimacy rather than weaken. You stop treating your erection as the sole measure of your masculinity and start seeing it as one aspect of a much bigger experience. And here's where it gets powerful. The more you practice this reframing, the more your nervous system learns not to panic when things go sideways. Instead of spiraling into shame, you stay calm. Instead of quitting, you stay present. And guess what? That calmness is exactly what allows your body to recover and often leads to an even stronger, more natural response. Some of the most satisfying sexual encounters happen after what could have been called a failure in the old mindset, but instead became a turning point for deeper connection. So if there's one thing I want you to take away from this final habit, it's this: setbacks are not the end, they are the training ground. Each one is an opportunity to teach your brain and body that you are safe, capable, and fully allowed to enjoy this part of life without fear. And when you combine all three habits, ending the pre-flight check, engaging your senses, and reframing setbacks, you're not just solving a problem, you're building a new identity, an identity rooted in confidence, presence, and resilience. Imagine approaching intimacy without that weight of dread, but instead with anticipation, knowing that whatever happens, you can handle it. That is what breaks the cycle of performance anxiety. Not a pill, not a quick fix, but a new way of living in your own skin. And if you start today practicing these shifts in small ways, you'll find that change doesn't take months or years. Sometimes the breakthrough happens in the very next experience, when you decide to let go of fear and step into trust. So take this with you: you are not broken, you are not defective, and you are not alone. You are human.